All right, everyone. Well, today went from a no trade day to me trading during power hour and hitting max loss. Not great. I'm triggered. I'm frustrated, but I'm going to do the recap. We're going to go over the mistakes I made and, well, you can see what you think of it. So, all right, this morning I started, bright and early as always. VRAX was our leading gapper. And the problem that I had with VRAX was that, it made this move early and then it was pulling back. So by the time I was sitting down at 7, it was below volume weighted average price and it just didn't look good. Now, I'll say that when it came up right here and got over VWAP, at that moment, I was like, okay, I might be able to get a trade on this for a squeeze, up to 3 and 350. But it didn't end up happening. The problem, I think, with VRAX was just that the move was mostly after hours, early pre-market. That was the front side. This was the back side. And it was very thickly traded. So like the level 2 was super stacked, tons of buyers, tons of sellers. So VRAX, leading percentage gainer, but no trades on it. Well, the next, and actually let's pull up, so that's the top gainers scanner. I'm going to pull up my top gappers scanner. So this scan stops updating at 9:30. So this is a picture of what the market looks like basically at 9:30 a.m. So VRAX was up 142%. AONC was up 88%, which was really weird because this one, you could see this chart, it like squeezed up and then at the open halted and then was up and then like sold off. It just, something was really weird about it. Anyways, I didn't take any trades on that. LPA this morning, this one put in a move and I'll say it's very, very risky. The problem with LPA is that it doesn't have good liquidity. So right here, it starts squeezing, it goes up to 60, but at times it had a 5-point spread. So 65 by 70, 70 by 75. I mean, even with small size, you could really get smoked on that. It did squeeze from $50 a share up to 85, but then it came all the way back down and just more or less not tradable. So that was LPA. FRGT, this one's on the scans as well, up 63%. It's a little bit of a cheaper stock. It did end up making a move here, and I saw some of you guys were trading it as it squeezed up to 170, but I just felt like it was too cheap and I wasn't going to make money on it. So, for me, I left it alone. So no trades on that one for me. So next thing you know, I'm kind of going down the scans. A couple people talking about AEMD, a few others, BNRG hit the scans. But we got to a point where I just wasn't seeing anything that looked good. And I was like, all right, you know what? It's 10:30. I've been sitting here for, 3 hours. Nothing's moving. So I'm going to call it a day. So that was at 10:30 a.m. It was a no trade day. And I was like, you know what? There's just nothing moving. So at that point, I had other things to do. So I went and did other things for a while. And then I came back at about 3 and I sit down and I've got GameStop up on my side chart here. And I see that it's made this move right here. And I'm like, you know what? I saw it this morning too in the 30s. And I still feel very conflicted on it. I just feel like, it doesn't make sense to me because, it just like the whole story of 2021, I really could get my head around. I could understand high short interest, short squeeze. Like I get that. But, my understanding right now is that we don't have particularly high short interest. And no, it's true that there's some factors like naked short selling that it's hard to account for. But in any case, we got this squeeze from 36 up to 38, 39, 40, up to $44 a share right here. And then it pulled back. So this is like 2 o'clock. So I'm sitting down right here and I see it. And I'm like, this actually is looking kind of interesting. So as it starts to squeeze up right here, it breaks this pre-market, or not the pre-market high, but it breaks this high right here. And let me jump onto the 1-minute chart and I'll show you the trade that I took on it. So I got in, so I started at 44.75, which was right here. So right here, as we were breaking this level, I got in looking to ride what I thought was going to be a squeeze up, through 47.48. I was looking for a retest to 47.50, which was our pre-market high from a couple days ago. So if we go back a couple days, you'll see 47.50 right here. This is the level I was looking for a squeeze into, right into this level. All right, so I get in at 44.75 and it goes up to 45. So I'm like, sweet, perfect. It goes up to 45, right, let's see. So right up to 45. And then it dumps, look at this. It dumps all the way down here in one candle to 42.50. So I'm down $2 a share. I held, and I was like, all right, this is not good. I held, it bounces up right here. And actually, let's switch to the 10-second chart so you can see it even better. All right, so this was, where was it? Yeah, so it was right here. So I got in basically like right here as I thought it was getting ready to squeeze through 45. We hit 45. We dump 2 points down here. I'm still holding. It bounces back up and I'm like, okay, what are we doing? It comes back down again. And I was like, I better get out. We were starting to get close to the halt down. And I was like, I do not want to be holding this in a halt down. And just like that, I'm down like $4,800, $4,800. So I'm like, dang it. This is, and moments later, it's back up here at 44.50, and it's like, you know what? This is exactly what happens with these types of higher price stocks. You get these whips where in 1-2 candles, you get a 2-point whip. And so I ended up getting back in it. And that was, basically, so I got back in at 47 right here. And it goes up to 47.50. And I added because we were breaking this pre-market level from the other day. It goes up to 48 and I'm like, sweet, I'm in good shape here. Here we go. And then it dumps to 46 again. So you know what? I'm down almost $10,000 just like that. And I'm frustrated because, I had a great trade on Monday and then it totally rolled over. And I was like, nope, not interested in it. And this morning when it was at 33.34, I was like, nope, not interested in it. And then today it starts to squeeze. So I'm like, I don't really like it, but it's clearly moving. And I just really screwed up my trades on it. I feel like in hindsight, I was buying what I thought would be breakouts and they just stalled out. I mean, that's basically what happened. This was a flat top breakout, stalled out, flush. Breakout, flush. So, this kind of goes back to the whole issue that I've had with meme stocks, which is that they don't usually break out cleanly. Now, this felt like it went parabolic in this area from 39 up to 44. I mean, this was pretty nice, but then it came all the way back down. And, the pre-market move that I got the other day from 33 up to 47, I mean, that was still at this point the cleanest move that we've had on it. So, that was where I did really well. And I think the thing that we had going for us there was that was kind of like the beginning of the move. It was just starting to pull away, take off, like traders were really excited. And all of a sudden, it's up quite a lot. And even the moves last month in May, I had a couple of trades there. If we look at if we just look at the daily chart, when it squeezed up to $80, I mean, that was like parabolic, going from $20 to $8 a share. I just sort of thought maybe that was going to happen if we broke through 47.50, which was the pre-market high from the other day. I just thought like, okay, maybe we're going to get a parabolic move, even though I don't really totally get it. I like to trade the technicals, so the chart that's right in front of me is moving. So I'm like, that's what I'm going to focus on. But I just got I caught 2 big jackknife moves. I mean, both of these are pretty big jackknives, the 2 that I caught. So, it was this one right here. And then it was this one right here. So yeah, that's a shame. It is what it is. And what's also frustrating is I tried to buy a dip at 37 at 43.37 right down here for 2,000 shares, and I didn't get filled. It jumps over my order. So, that could have been a really nice trade, but I still gave back profit on this one. I think the challenge that I have is that, with these types of stocks, I do well trading them when they're parabolic, on those days that they're going like straight up, and the rest of the days I struggle. So actually in 2021, I was red like $30,000 on GameStop when it was starting to kind of move, but it wasn't really it wasn't parabolic. It was grinding. So it would push a little higher and then it would dump. And then it would push a little higher and then it would dump. And I lost like 30 grand trading it in that area. And then we had finally that, that really nice squeeze where it started to pull away. And that's when I was crushing it. So, GameStop these last 3 weeks, the 2 days I crushed it were when it was going parabolic. And today I got crushed, getting chopped out, trading breakouts, trying to anticipate parabolic moves, but we didn't get it. And I mean, I guess you kind of got it here. And then you had a MACD crossover, it went sideways. But then when it started to pull up again, I was like, okay, here we go. And then jackknife, right? And then I was like, okay, here we go. And then again. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then again. And sometimes these are stocks where you sort of play that game. You keep getting in for the breakout, and then finally you do get that move and you can totally redeem yourself. But, well, now I'm below my max loss for the day. It's like I can't take any more trades on it. So even if it does end up doing that, I'm maxed out. And I'm annoyed that I'm down 10 grand. This is a big red day for me. I've been keeping the red days in check. I would say this is my first really emotional day since, let's see, let me look at my metrics here. I've been tracking like how many days I go between having like a really bad day. And so let's see. So I had a 27-day streak between like really kind of crappy days. That 27 days was from, when was that? That was from March until this day in May. So I had a 27-day streak there, or a 21-day streak. I think I had a 27-day streak somewhere in here. And then, it's been 21 days since my last like really frustrating red day, which were, these 2 days back here. Whoops. These 2 days back here were really frustrating, and these 2 days were really frustrating. So today, it's the biggest red day I've had since, February or maybe since March, I guess. I had a couple of big red days there in March. But it's just such a shame, it's the beginning of the new month. I haven't imported any of my trades yet. So let's see. But this basically, I think I was up 18,000 on the week before today. $15,000 is my weekly goal. And now, like a total idiot, I gave back half of that in a couple of stupid trades. So, no one to blame but myself. It's just stupid trading. And I beat myself up hard when I do stuff like that, because I just feel like, you got to beat yourself up. You have to punish yourself for those mistakes. So let's see, refresh, back to reports. So yeah, that was nice. Yeah. So gave back most of that here. All right. So here's June. So yeah, 18,000. So 14,000, 3,500. And then today down 10 grand. So cuts the month in half, up 9,000 on the week. And, now I've got to suffer with this a little bit, with the frustration of knowing that this was a totally avoidable loss for 2 reasons. Number one, I know that afternoon trading is the highest risk for me for having big mistakes, because it's classic. I had already had some caffeine. That made me a little bit more, a little more trigger happy. I got aggressive. I know I have to be super careful trading after I've had caffeine. So trading during power hour, trading with caffeine on a day that was already a no trade day where nothing looked good, like mistake, mistake, mistake. I think what was it that led to making that mistake? Maybe it was sitting down here, which I was sitting down to do my recap, and because it was gonna be a no trade day recap, and I was like, okay. And then I saw GameStop, and I was like, well, shoot, that's a pretty big move, you know. And maybe because I was a little caffeinated, I was a little like, all right, this thing's moving. Like, let's do something. Let's see if we can get some trades on this. And then next thing you know, in like an instant, on a 1,500 share starter position, I added to it. So I go up to 2,000 shares, and then I'm down $4,000 in an instant. And immediately, heart's pounding, and I'm like, I'm going to get that back. And so now I'm sucked in. I'm like, well, let me just cut the loss in half. And, then all of a sudden I'm sucked in trading, and then I catch another flush, right? So now I'm down in an instant. It happens quick. It happens really fast. So things unraveled today a little bit. I'm bummed. I'm frustrated. But, look, this is trading. You got to be able to get kicked in the teeth and get back on the horse the next day, right? I mean, that's all we can do. So, I mean, it is what it is. I had a nice little stretch there. Like I said, so this last streak was 21 days of really good discipline. Not 21 green days, but 21 days of good discipline. So I had some red days, but the discipline was pretty solid. What day was this? This was on the 17th. So, yeah, so I was disappointed. I was frustrated, but I followed my rules on those days. And so I was like, all right, today I just pushed it, and I got too aggressive, took too big a share size in the afternoon, just so I don't feel like that was a good discipline day. So I'm going to say today I broke that streak. So tomorrow I start over day one, and we'll see if I can redeem myself just by having a nice little finish to the week. It doesn't have to be making a lot of money. It can just be like just kind of finishing the week in one piece. But I just feel like I don't know. I got kind of, I don't know what the word is, but I just feel like I got kind of sucked in on this, and I'm just super annoyed. And, look, we're probably going to sit down tomorrow. It's going to be like $50 a share or something. And I'm like, just stupid. But it's not like I'm going to hold, a couple thousand shares overnight. If it opens at $30, I'd be down, 20, 30 grand on that. And it's just not worth it, So the rules are there for a reason. The big picture is that these rules keep me safe, and following them is sometimes the hardest part. Today I deviated away. I got a little overconfident. So I got, spanked by the market for that. And I'll have to be extra careful coming back at it tomorrow. It's just the way it is. GameStop, I think the people that did the best on it are the traders who are comfortable buying, setting a stop and walking away, and then coming back and they're up. And that I've just never been that kind of trader. Sometimes I wish I was, but at the same time, $12 million of profit here is obviously I'm doing something right. So I can't win them all. And today I'm not coming out on top a winner, but I'm also not a complete zero because life is good. I'm green on the week, green on the month, and no doubt with a couple of good trades, probably not tomorrow, but next week I'll recoup this loss and get back in good shape. But it's just a little painful to this early in the month have a 2 times max loss red day on the P&L. A $10,000 red day, just that stings a little bit, and it's going to be there looking at it for the rest of the month. It's I care about having months of good consistency, and when I have back-to-back red days or I have big red days, it just like just really gets under my skin. I guess at the end of the day I shouldn't let it bother me so much, but I look at these days, they're right here, and it's like that was a 5-day losing streak. Just unbelievable. It's so frustrating. At the time, I was, ready to just snap. So I don't know. I run a little hot sometimes with these types of weeks. These are the months that I just love. I mean, who doesn't? These are incredible. 186,000, but it's not all like that. There's green and there's red, there's ups and downs, and so now I'm in a little bit of a slump. I've got to be careful not to spiral with a second red day tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, it's the end of the week, so the problem there is that we're not likely to see a lot of good headlines tomorrow morning. I have, tomorrow's the last day of school for a lot of kids, same with my kids, so I have to leave early. So I'm going to have a shorter trading day anyways, just because of, life stuff, which normally is fine, but it's a lot easier to walk away and say that when you're in the green. When you're in the red, you feel like you got to really fight it out. You don't want to just sort of, I don't like leaving on a red note. It's funny because when it comes to like vacation and stuff, I don't like taking, if I have like a big red day right before a vacation, I feel like I spend the whole vacation thinking about it. If I have a big red day right before a long weekend, I'll spend the whole weekend kind of ruminating on it. But if I have a big green day right before a vacation, I don't want to go on vacation because I'm like, the market's too hot. I shouldn't leave. So then I spend the vacation just kind of ruminating about, God dang it, I'm missing so much action. And then that can get me frustrated. So there's no winning. There's just no winning at all. I guess you're going to be, discontent one way or the another if you have a personality that's like mine. And it's not always a lot of fun. But again, I got to keep reminding myself that the cup is half full. It's a lot more than half full, actually. But I think this little perfectionist part of me, just this kind of like fastidious, like just kind of wants to get it just right, can be, it can be difficult to deal with. But on the other hand, I owe that part of me a great deal of thanks because I wouldn't have been as driven and have pushed myself so hard if I didn't have that part of me. And I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for that. Because I really had to push through a big struggle just to get to where I'm at now. One of the things that I've said over the years is that, some people are like, Ross, you're so disciplined. And it's like, I've struggled to get to where I'm at right now. And I still, like clockwork, every, 20 to 30 trading days have a setback. And, maybe it's just a 1-day setback, but like, it's a struggle, and I have to really fight hard to stay, on my game, to not spiral. And so I guess the good side of that is that because I struggle with it, I can really relate to a lot of you guys who struggle with it as well, and share with you the things that have helped me, which is my meditation routine and, avoiding caffeine when I'm trading. That helps me stay focused. God, I'm so annoyed about today. See, the thing is, you don't always realize you're compromised. That's the worst part of it, is that after the fact, you're like, oh my God, I was definitely compromised. But in the moment, you don't realize you're compromised. That's the trap that so many of us fall into. You're like, no, I'm good. Like, yeah, I've had some caffeine. I feel great. And next thing you know, you're down $4,000, $6,000, $8,000, whatever it is, and so I guess I would tell you, on the one hand, cut yourself some slack if you're in the red this week, this month, whatever it is, because I know what it's like, and at the end of the day, we're only human, and we're going to have these setbacks because we are trying to do something that is really difficult. Success in trading is not about never having these setbacks anymore. It's just about having more green days than red days. It's being in control more often than you're not in control. And I think, that's almost as much as you can strive for. Sometimes I feel like after this many years of trading, I wish that like these kind of days never happened to me. that I was just like such a robot, like so like, you know, just followed every one of the rules I've ever set for myself and, you know, just, but it's not how it is. And I've sort of come to realize that that would be an unrealistic, that is an unrealistic expectation to have because we are human. And these emotions, they creep up and they're always there, but sometimes they just bubble over as it did today. So 100%, I mean, my first loss on GameStop, you know, look, I mean, you could say I chased the entry, but I'm not going to, I would sort of, I wouldn't disagree with that. But at the same time, as a momentum trader who often is trading breakouts, that strategy works for me more often than it doesn't. So that's not, you could say, well, you know, you could nitpick the specific entry and I don't necessarily disagree that maybe I was being a little aggressive, but being aggressive generally does work really well for me. So the issue here, I think more than anything was that I made a choice to trade during a time of day where I was taking a lot of risk on a price stock that carries a lot of risk, which is also a meme stock. Now, of course, I took a lot of risk on Monday when I got up at 4 a.m. to trade it, and that paid off. I took some risk today, and I gave back a little more than half what I made Monday. So now I got to be careful that I don't go red on this move on GameStop, and I at least can have some profit from this volatility that we've seen. And whether or not we see any more opportunity on it tomorrow, I don't know. Maybe, you know, we'll see what happens going into the close with overnight trading and on Red or on Robinhood. But I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. to try to trade it. You know, I don't think that would be called for tomorrow. You know, again, I guess I could see how it closes tonight, but I don't think that would be called for, and I don't think that would be a good idea unless it closes tonight, you know, after hours in the high 50s. Like just closing at 48 or 50, I don't think that's going to be enough for me. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. And then I might want to just cut my losses here, you know, no one to hold them, no one to fold them, and call it a week. Because at the end of the day, right now, I'm sitting on a green week if I stop right here. I don't have to trade tomorrow. If there's nothing that looks good, like I said, it's a Friday going into the weekend. Probably not going to be a lot of companies with news. Maybe GameStop will be clean, but probably not. To be honest, unless it can get over, I mean, the daily chart is showing 64 here, but the pre-market chart from that day is $80. So it really needs to get over 80 to get exciting. We're a long ways away from that. So, and 80 is just the high from May. 88 is really the daily level where things get interesting. And I'm just not, I don't think that's going to happen. And I look, if it proves me wrong, that's fine. But I don't think that's going to happen. So probably best to leave it alone. I overstayed my welcome. Maybe maybe I went back to the well one too many times on it here. And maybe I should just call it done with GameStop and move on to something else. Focus on trading stuff that's a little cleaner with fresh intraday catalysts, which we didn't have a lot of today, right? So anyways, that's where I'm at. Sorry to let you guys down today. This is a disappointing performance for me to have a little lapse of discipline, but I'll be back at it tomorrow, and hopefully we have some better opportunities, although my expectations are kind of low. I think realistically, my next best day is going to be probably next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So anyway, you know, I'll be back at it. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good luck. Manage your risk. Reminder, as always, hey, easy come, easy go, right? This is trading. So my results, although today is a red day, my results in total are not typical. So manage your risk, take it slow, practice in a simulator. And thanks as always for tuning in for the red day recap. Sorry it's a red day, but I know you guys learn quite a bit from these. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you back at it tomorrow morning.